What's up, shooters? So today we are going to do a quick video on gun safety tips for new gun owners, because I think it's important to make new gun owners feel a little bit more comfortable, because sometimes it can get a little bit overwhelming. And so we're going to jump right into it. Before we get into it, I just wanted to say I'm making this video. I kind of did something similar before this. I didn't really like the way it turned out, so that's why you are seeing this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Let's go right back into it. The first thing I want to talk about is when you get home with that brand new gun, the first thing I would recommend doing is knowing how to clear that gun. So I'm going to demonstrate that for you real quick. So the first thing you want to do is make sure there's no mag in it. Right? There's a mag release button right here on the gun, somewhere on the mag. You're going to press that, mag's going to pop out, you take that out, make sure there's no bullets in it. First step. Second step is you're going to want to lock the slide back. Okay? Now this gun has been cleared before the video, but this is me double checking it anyway. That slide release and slide lock, whatever you want to call it, you're going to press it upward. You're going to run that slide all the way to the rear, and you're going to let go of it, and it should stop on its way forward. If you didn't do it correctly, it's going to go forward. Just do it again. Okay. Another thing is make sure you're pointing that gun when you're messing with a gun ever. This is whenever you're messing with a gun, no matter whether or not it's cleared. Make sure you know wherever you're going to be pointing that gun. Like, for example, my attic. There's not going to be anyone in there. If there is, they got what's coming. But make sure you're pointing it in a safe direction. Don't shoot your dog. Don't shoot your wife. Make sure it's pointed in a safe direction. Okay? So, now that you have the slide open, what that allows you to see is the barrel inside, the back of the barrel right there. And it also allows you to see the mag. So now, or the mag well, you can see through it, right? So there's obviously no mag, no bullets in that direction. And I don't know if you can see that on camera. Hopefully you can. But if not, there's no bullet in the back of that barrel. So, biggest thing is learning how to do that right there. Learn how to clear the gun. Make sure you understand how that gun is cleared. You understand how it works. Basically, fuck with it a lot with no ammo. That's probably my biggest piece of advice before you do anything else. Once you fucked with it and you understand how the gun works, now it's time to do some dry fire practice. So, dry fire practicing, what is it? It's what it sounds. You shoot the gun with no ammo in it. They make dummy rounds. Dummy rounds are a very good training thing. It teaches you how to load mags, teaches you how to clear malfunctions. You can make malfunctions. I would look up a video on that. I don't have dummy rounds with me at the moment, but dummy rounds are very good training devices, and I would definitely get some if you plan on running a firearm. It's good, especially if you got someone that doesn't know how to run a firearm. Put some dummy rounds in there. Show them how it works. Now, dry fire practice. Dry fire practice is shooting the gun with no ammo in it. So now what do? Well, first off, that right there is going to keep you from looking like Alec Baldwin. This is probably the most important thing in this entire video, is this index finger right here. It seems so simple, but I see so many people make this mistake. When they are not intending to shoot that gun, they'll be like this. You need to be like this. This is the safest way to hold a firearm. You've got a good grip on it. There's nothing on that trigger. Okay? You don't want anything on that trigger until you mean to shoot it at a target, at someone that's trying to harm you or your family. Whatever. If you are not intending to pull that trigger, your finger needs to be like this. Now, obviously, my gun nerds and people like that know this, and it does seem very simple and obvious, but there's so many people that neglect this part, and I want to get that point across, because this is what prevents accidents right here. This finger. So please, when you are holding a gun, do this. Make this a habit. If you're holding a Nerf gun, index it. Make it a habit. Don't pull a trigger if you're not intending to pull that trigger. even if it's a fucking Nerf gun. There's just no point. Don't get out of this habit. Do this, please, all the time. Never pick up a gun without doing this. When you go to a gun store, it makes the people at the gun store feel more comfortable because you grab that gun, they see you have training. This indicates that you understand what's going to happen if you pull that trigger. Okay? So, very important. Sorry to go on a rant there. Anyway, dry fire practice. So basically what dry fire practice is you're going to, I'm ready to pull the trigger. Boom. You want to make sure your sights don't move, okay, when you pull that trigger. You want to pull it all the way to the rear without changing your sight picture. Now, you want to practice the reset. So what a reset is, so when you pull that trigger, right, you pull it, it clicks, it fires the bullet. What happens after that is you have an empty casing inside of here. So when it fires that bullet, what happens is it goes like this. It goes boom, it expels the casing, and then drags the next bullet into the barrel. Now, the reset of the trigger is this right here. You may hear it click, you may not. Just watch my finger, you'll see it stop. So it just stopped right there. That is your reset. That is also where the wall is. When you break that wall, you're going to fire again, okay? Understanding that, understanding where that wall is very important when you're firing a weapon. It makes you more accurate, it makes you safer. You know exactly where that bullet's going to fire in that trigger pool. So, dry fire practice is very important. Do it over and over and over and over and over again. Then when you're comfortable with the gun, with it comfortable in your hand, all that good stuff, now it's time to go to the range. Also, before you go to the range, look up all your range rules. A lot of ranges have different rules. Make sure you're following them. You don't want to be the asshole that goes in there, doesn't know what you're doing, and then you put all the people on guard, and now they're going to be an asshole to you. Plain and simple. Make sure you're following the rules. If you don't understand the rules, ask the question when you get there. Don't bring any firearms into the place. Go in and be like, hey, so can you give me a rundown on what to do? This is my first time at a range. Most people will be kind enough to help you out. If they're not, fuck them. Go to a different place. Because they should be. Someone coming in being honest and saying, I don't know what I'm doing yet. Can you show me a few things? You should be able to get some help by that. If you have someone that can help you or that is well trained in firearms, bring them with you. They do have classes. A lot of ranges will do like instructor classes where you can go in there, they show you the basics of firearms. Another thing is to get your CDL or take a CDL class. Some people like to have it, some people don't. It's their choice. We live in America, freedom's freedom. So now you're at the range. What I would recommend, I'm assuming you already know how to load a magazine, right? You've done enough research and seen how to load a magazine, so you've done it with your dummy rounds. That's all part of messing around with the gun. So I'm assuming you already know how to load a magazine. When you get in there, probably the most important range rule that I've seen at pretty much every range is, let's say the camera's downrange. Let's say the camera's downrange. When you pull that gun out of the case, if it's in a case, depends on the range rules, make sure you're pointing that gun downrange. When you're holding that gun, it needs to be pointed downrange. I've seen it at every gun range that I've ever been to. So, make sure you're doing that. Now, you're there, you're ready to fire. Load one round. The reason I say that is because I can't tell you how many times I've seen people not necessarily know and they load like a full magazine. And I've done this personally myself. I rented a gun. I didn't know much about the gun. It was stupid. I should have done this. 100% I should have done this. I loaded 3 rounds in it, right? For the first time ever shooting this gun, it was a CZ Shadow 2. If you know anything about the CZ Shadow 2, the trigger pull on that thing is extremely light in single action. So what ended up happening was I shot and I didn't my muscle memory, I'm used to shooting Glocks, right? So I shot and then I shot again on the way up after the recoil. load 1 round in, please, no matter what. If it's a new gun, load 1 round. If you understand it immediately, go ahead and shoot it. If you don't, keep doing it over and over and over again, 1 round. When I took my wife, we did it probably 6 times before we loaded more into it. So get comfortable with the recoil. Another thing is to get comfortable with the noise. Indoor ranges especially are very loud. So you're going to flinch. It's human reaction to flinch. You get used to it over time, especially if you got really good headphones. It makes it not as bad. But please index until you're ready to pull that trigger. That prevents accidents from happening all the time. You don't see a lot of accidents because people are indexing their trigger finger. When you do see accidents, they're normally not doing this. Make sure you're doing that. It's probably the biggest point I want to get across throughout this whole video. So load 1 round, then load 3, do 3 a few times, then load the whole mag. Now you're used to it. Now it's just time to practice a lot. Practice a lot. You're going to be the most accurate and the most safe with the gun that you train the most with. So train. It is so important. Whether it's dry firing, whether it's going to the range and shooting. Dry firing is a great way to practice for free. Okay? Going to the range can be expensive, depending on what kind of gun you have, depending on what kind of ammo it is. It can be expensive. I understand that. Dry fire practice. Now, another thing you want to do as a new gun owner, get you a safe. Lock the gun up. A lot of people will tell you, oh, I need to get to that gun, and that's true. Me personally, I don't lock my gun up when I'm at home. It is in my nightstand. I want to be able to access it quickly. Some people even carry in their homes. I don't. My home's pretty small, and it is what it is. But when I'm gone, you see the safe right behind me. Everything goes in the safe. Every firearm goes in the safe when I am gone. Another thing you want to do as a new gun owner is get a good holster. I recommend a Kydex holster. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Look up some holsters, look up some reviews. There's plenty of holsters out there. Do what's comfortable to you. Ask your friends, whatever. But other than that, I really appreciate y'all watching this video. We are 5 subscribers away from 200. I cannot believe it's growing this fast, and I cannot thank you enough for doing that. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment on this video. Comment if you think I'm dumb. Comment if you think I'm smart. If you just think I'm, no, just kidding. Comment anything. Really, if you got advice, maybe I missed something. Maybe there's something else someone should do when they buy a new gun. Put it down in the comments section. Let these guys know. I'm not a perfect human being. I don't know everything you need to do. Put it down in the comments section. Let people know what to do. If you're respectful, you're going to get a real answer from me. If you're disrespectful, you're going to get a funny sequence of emojis. Just how I roll. Either way, I really appreciate y'all watching this video. We will see y'all next time. Thanks.